Welcome back, Trackside. Thanks for joining us once again here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Tonight, the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series fires things off from the beautiful Irish Hills right here in Michigan. Michigan International Speedway, the Flint Town 200. Ready to fire things off here tonight. The premier racing setup qualifying session already underway. Track temperature above 110. Not a very good breeze around the track, so drivers are going to be slipping and sliding here tonight in Michigan. We're getting ready to head trackside, but before we go, how you doing? How you feeling? Out there in TV land, race fans, glad you could all join us here tonight. As always, bring you all the calls from trackside. Speaking of trackside, let's throw some of those qualifying times over there to the left hand side of your screen. Just about a minute and a half remaining here in qualifying. Who's going to take the top spot? Sitting in the provisional pole with the quick time here in qualifying, Cody Heinzman, the 28. Toyota Camry going to sit top of the speed charts. 38.97 is the quick time here in qualifying. Jerry Isaacs with a solid qualifying effort. He's going to slot in second. And it looks like only 4 drivers yet to put in a qualifying time here tonight. Over 25 in the field. It's going to be a huge packed house here tonight. Handful of newcomers making their debuts as well. Mike Donahue, one of the debut racers here tonight. Michael Grubb. How about inside of the top 10 in qualifying? A handful of these new guys making some big names, some big waves early here. So as qualifying about 15 seconds away from closing, Cody Heinzman will walk away with the Premier Racing Setup Pole Award here tonight. An amazing job, an amazing effort out of that entire 28 team. We're going to step away, head trackside for your national anthem. Don't go anywhere, race fans. Green flag is coming your way.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rackets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that
Head back trackside as drivers make their way through final pre-race inspection to head to the starting grid. We're going to get a little closer to the track. What do you say? Watch all these drivers fire the engines here tonight in the Flint Town 200. We are just about ready to fire things off and get underway. Official word down to the pace truck. We should be rolling off here any time soon. There it is. Driver's gonna hit the gas and start to head around the track as we begin tonight's race. You know the sounds, you know it's time to run down your starting lineup in the Flint Town 200, starting inside row number 1, your premier racing Senna Pole Award winner behind the wheel of that 46 machine, Andrew Caldwell. Cody Heintzman going to slot in just beside him with Isaacs and Koska back in row 2. Row number 3 here tonight from Michigan, Sherman and Dorsey. Judd Danielson, Cody Richardson back in row 4. Row number 5 tonight, rounding out your top 10, Dan Keene and Gary Bowman. Jarrett Camilli and Christian Delgado back in row 6. Signing in row number 7 here tonight from Michigan International Speedway, Jeremy Flanagan and Ken Long. Lilith Peters and Ed Jurgen back in row 8. Row number 9, the 14 of Brett Wright, followed by the 65 of Chris Letts. The rest of the field playing out a little something like this. Stephen Music with William Kern back in row number 10. Grubb and Duft in row 11. A 1-1 of Gainforth. The 4 of Turner back in row 12. Finishing out the 25-car field here tonight in the Flint Town 200. Mike Donahue. Debut race for Donahue. Will he be able to make his way to the front? We're going to find out shortly as drivers head to the restart zone on the gas, and away we go. Green flag flies for the first time here tonight from Michigan. Jason, we appreciate you joining us here tonight in the chat. Appreciate the comment there. Best national anthem ever on a stream that you've heard, and we love it. A lot of us Turn 3 broadcasters and commentators do in fact use that particular one. But back to the racing action early here tonight. Heinzman gonna grab that race lead back while the Interstate Batteries number 46 of Caldwell slides back to third. Koska moves to second. 2-3 wide already through this field. Lap number 1 in the books. 4 wide for a moment. Ooh, let's go back a little further, guys. There you go. Let's get back to the Hornet's Nest. We've got drivers all over this racetrack. Look at this. Lilith Peters' debut race here tonight with the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series. He's not scared to mix it up. 2-3 wide multiple times with Peters already. Still seeing a lot of 3 wide racing as this track is very wide. It lends its hand to some extreme racing action. When I say extreme, I mean that in a very good way. We'll watch everybody fan out through the entry of 1 and 2. Still 3 wide here on the lap number 3. Drivers not giving an inch. See, Kyle, we appreciate you out there in the chat with us here tonight. Unfortunately, Kyle, I believe knee problems, knee surgery possibly. Not sure if the surgery actually happened or not, but some knee issues for Nadu. So out of the car tonight. Join us in the chat. Keeping us up to date. This is the first season we've been back in a handful, letting us know that Lilith was actually one of the final 4 in the last season, chasing after a championship. First race here tonight, so we'll see how Lilith goes about things back here in that number 1 eyeball. that number one machine for the majority of the night. We'll see how she goes, how it goes for tonight. Christian Delgado making the bottom work for him right now. Meet in the middle. 85 GoPro machine of Dan Keene, one of the fast drivers week in, week out. We've watched Keene battle for race leads, battle for race wins. Coming up short in contact. Contact. Big issue here. A lot of drivers going to be involved now. Back up the track. The 13 comes sliding after contact. Jurgen and Turner going to have some problems as well. Let's take a look back once again. Catching it a little bit after the fact, but there you go. A little bit of contact on the front end of the one. Looks innocent enough. But the problems going on beforehand. Let's go back again. Let's see if we can see this one happening. There you go. Just stuffing it in too, right when it's all going on. William Kern found a hole and blasted right through. So an early caution here tonight from Michigan International Speedway brings us to a crawl back behind the pace car. New race leader, Cody Heinzman, started outside pole position, had that pole snatched away in the final literally 2 seconds remaining on the stopwatch and qualifying, and Andrew Caldwell crossed the line just 1,000th faster. Can you imagine that? 1,000th. Amazing run there to snatch away that Premier Racing Setup Pole award, but the Interstate Batteries 46 will fall to third. Pit road's going to open up. Handful of drivers down. Keene, Letts, Peters, Kern, Music, Camilli, as well as Danielson, Donahue, Jurgen, and Turner. So an early uncharacteristic caution here for the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series. Going to put us back behind the pace car. Early duties here tonight for our good buddy Joshua Norwood behind the wheel of that pace truck. And averaging only one caution a race. So far this season, 5 races behind us. Is this going to be the only one we see? I mean, there's a lot of room. There's a lot of opportunity for passing, a lot of opportunity for big runs, big moves to be made here at Michigan. And momentum is one of the key factors here at Michigan. You do have to throttle a little bit. You got to play with the throttle through the center of the corner. Make sure the car stays turning. But if you have to jump back out of the gas late corner exit, you give up a ton of momentum. And down these long backstretch and this long front stretch, giving up any momentum will be extremely costly. So a quick caution, we're going to go back double file. As the pace truck lights are off, everybody going to rejoin the racetrack. Jared Camilli still on pit road. 30 with quite a bit of damage here. We're going to see if he can get the fenders massaged out and smoothed over and get himself back out there on the racetrack. But about 5 or 6 drivers involved in this early incident here at Michigan. We'll see how the field goes about it this time when we get ready to restart. Teammates lined up on the top side. We're ready to restart once again. We await the smash of the gas, ready to go back racing, and green flag flies once again here from Michigan. Gary Bowman going to pull the 08 back down pit road. The Duncan wrapped 08 has to head back down pit road. We're going to keep things fired up. Single file now through about your top 10 positions. Looks like drivers settling in a little bit after this early caution here tonight. With our second lap after the caution, we're going to be on the road. Let's go ahead and drop that timing and scoring. Over to the left-hand side of your screen, let you find and follow along with your favorite driver in the field here tonight. First time we've had the timing and scoring. Looking to the bottom is the 86. Not close enough to make a move, not close enough to make anything happen. He's going to stay back in that second position, but now three teammates lined up nose to tail, second, third, fourth. After 4 laps from the restart, let's jump around just a little bit. Let's see if we can find you some more battles. Race lead is under fire, but how about the battle back here? The 85 machine dealing with Lilith Peters. Peters trying to make some headway after being slightly involved. I wouldn't say a little bit of damage to the left front. We'll see if that affects the handling of the race car. Gonna go way up the track at it 4, and that's a typical line, leaving the bottom of the racetrack and carrying that momentum all the way out wide, keeping the speed in the car. Peters looks like she may be heading back to the front. Firefox Foods looking quick here tonight. Not going to have to DoorDash any of that. It's going to get to you before it goes bad. I can promise you that. Now look back to the inside once again. Andrew Koska wants to become a new race leader. He's got him at a 4. Will he beat him to the line? Looks like the teammate's going to stack it up on the bottom of the racetrack. And how about Koska getting the job done? Heinzman, man, doing all he can out there solo behind the wheel of that NOS Toyota Camry. Just unable to keep up with the trio down on the bottom, and we've got a caution flag. Problems on the racetrack once again here. We're going to have caution number 2 of the night. Let's go back. Let's check the replay. A little bit of door banging and bumping. Oh, more. Oh, man. Oh, golly. That is a vicious hit to the inside wall. Let's take one more look at it here. On board with Stephen Music, there's the contact, the bang of the outside wall. Out of control, cannot get it wound up, and oh my gosh. That is a violent hit. That's tough. Handful of drivers going to be involved in caution number 2 here tonight, and a handful of drivers are going to have their hands full trying to get back out there on the racetrack. Unfortunate The 09 heavy, hard impact with that inside safer barrier, but I don't think it gave enough, because that was a massive, massive hit. Pit road is open. Majority of the field coming down pit lane. The 72 of Jeremy Flanagan. He's going to stay out on the racetrack. The Foxfire Foods sponsored machines on some similar strategy. They're going to go 1 and 2 with William Kern staying out behind them. Both Peters and Kern hit pit road under our first caution. They're going to elect to stay out this time around. Big troubles, big hits. So as we find ourselves under caution here tonight, let's go ahead and bring you some official business. Let's talk a little bit about the overall point standings coming into tonight's race. Race number 6 of the season. Cody Richardson leading those point standings. Jerry Isaacs right there behind him. Daniel Keene, Sanders, Kyle Nadu. Missing tonight's race. Kyle out there in the chat with us, joining, watching us inside of the top 5 coming into tonight's race. Unfortunately, he's going to fall from that spot. We'll see how far that slide is. But even Ed Jurgen sitting 16 points behind in 6th. Jurgen looking to have a good race tonight. Struggling a little bit early back in the 18th position, but we'll see how Ed goes the rest of the night. Andrew Koska. What can we say about Koska? Inside of your top 10. Looking for a podium finish once again. Inside your top 5 right now. See, that 86 is usually a topic of discussion of the majority of the races. So we'll see how he goes about it. So as we shut our mouths, pace car lights are out, and we are ready to go back. Green flag racing once again. Field gonna double up out of turn number 2. Teammates gonna stack up side by side. So if you're behind the wheel of that one machine, what do you do here on the restart, right? We've got official word that Lilith did chase after a championship last season. This is the first race this season for her. Does she go all out right here on this restart? Race lead right there within grabbing distance. I'm telling you what, I'm going hard or going home right here. I'm behind the wheel of that Firefox number 1, teammate or not. I'm pounding the pavement. Back on the grass and back on the gas. Stay out of the grass. That's not what you want. Ass Music. We had a little bit of a slide through the grass and it did not work out well. Great restart for the 72. He's going to leave Peters waiting in the wing. Side-by-side racing action behind him. 31 of William Kern. You seen him? Missed that first incident. This is what it's done for him. Put him back inside of the top 5, and now he is fighting for a top 3 position. Peters with a great run through 3 and 4. Looking to the bottom of the racetrack. Will drag race to the line, and Peters will be accredited with the lap led new race leader here from Michigan. Handful of lead changes already in the Flint Town 200. And I would expect to see another 5 to 10 more easily here tonight. Driver's going to go back to mixing things up. We've seen a little bit of a quieter, calmer start last time around. This one amping up just a little bit. A lot of side-by-side racing action. 3 wide back there with your poles that are involved. Andrew Caldwell going to take the outside lane now, falling back to the 8th position. Spots at the front, still up for grabs. Peters way up the racetrack. That's going to open up the door for the 72 on the bottom. Slide job coming. No. 72 will keep it at the bottom of the racetrack and will drop the timing and scoring. Back over there to the left-hand side, you can find and follow along with your favorite driver on the field here tonight from Michigan International Speedway. And I'm liking what I'm seeing. There's a lot of racing action going on here just inside of the top 5, all the way through about your top 15. A lot of guys searching, looking, drivers trying to find that quick line. Switching things up, changing the lines lap after lap, just searching for a little bit more, a little bit extra. Flanagan not finding it at the top of the racetrack. 72 gonna fall back to 5th now. Meanwhile, Peters has had a taste of the race lead, and it's going to be hard to grab it back from it. There it is. Gonna team up on the bottom of the racetrack, get a big run down into turn number 1. That's going to push Koska out front. 28 right there, unable to make the pass. Peters going to fall back to 2nd. Man, what a fight by Peters, right? Has teammates up here ganging up. Not phased one bit. Makes moves, gets back to the bottom of the racetrack. Looking for the race lead once again off of turn 2. Not going to have it. Will drag race down the backstretch and back into turn number 3. What a battle for your race lead. Side by side at the front. 86 of Koska going to come down, cover up that 1-2. Making fire around the outside. Heinzman looking for the race lead as Peters washes up in the middle. 2-3 wide. 72 into the outside wall. There's racing action everywhere on this racetrack. Even back in the back. And oh, we got trouble. We got trouble in the back. The 13 of Christian Delgado caught up and involved in this one. We got parts and pieces flying everywhere here. Big time trouble. Now let's go back. Let's see what happened with Bowman. Yo, wait, innocently enough, misses it all. Man, Jim Danielson, a big hit for Danielson. Let's go, oh, big hit to the outside. Oh my gosh, the 6. Whew. Guys, I'm telling you, some of these hits tonight, absolutely devastating to watch. Let's take one more look at it here. My gosh. Four drivers going to be involved in our latest incident here at Michigan International Speedway. That's going to put us under caution for the 3rd time. Quarter of the way through tonight's race. And some big hits for a handful of drivers. Music, Turner, Camilli, Sherman, Bowman, Delgado, all with big hits. Big trouble here tonight. Pit road is open, but it looks like a handful of these guys elected to just stay out. Jeremy Flanagan, William Kern, Michael Grubb, Jurgen, Long Donahue, all on the pit road. So as the field stays behind the pace car, we're going to utilize the opportunity to pay a few bills, take a short, brief sponsor break. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be back with all your green flag action live here from Michigan International Speedway.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
And thanks for staying with us here from Michigan International Super Speedway drivers. Double file, ready to restart once again, heading back into the restart zone. We're getting ready to smash the gas, and away we go. Green flag flies once again in the Flip Town 200. Start for Koska. He's gonna fire out of the hole like a cannon, take off, have a 2 to 3 car advantage already down the backstretch. Side by side racing action, second, third, and fourth. They're just single file heading down into turn number 3, and a much calmer restart here on restart number 4. Drivers have kind of calmed down a little bit. Once again, we've seen this on that second restart. Now seeing it once again on the fourth restart of the right pole center. Cornwell stuck to the high side. The 46 Interstate Batteries machine heading backwards. Drivers still jockeying for positions at the front of the field. Teammates nose to tail, 1, 2, 3 on the racetrack. Lilith Peters right there running in fourth, up 11 positions from where she qualified back in 15th. Now inside the top 5. Great return to the racetrack for that Fox Fire Foods #1 machine, Nathan Dufton. Let's go look at Dufton right here in that Mobile 147 machine. Biggest mover of the race so far here tonight, up 14 positions from 22nd all the way inside of your top 10. That's heading to the front in a hurry. Handful of damaged, beaten, battered machines in the field here tonight. The 37, the 29, the 70, the 08. Jared Camillian, the 30 with big trouble. Delgado Sherman, the 4 of Turner, the 09 of Music. A lot of trouble in the field here tonight for a handful. Jump around the racetrack just a little bit, trying to bring you all the action that we possibly can. A lot going on here at Michigan International Speedway, so we'll drop the timing scoring back to the left-hand side of your screen one more time here tonight. We got 3 wide, almost 3 wide there for a 1 through 1 and 2 for your second position. Tell me these drivers don't want a podium. The stripe coming to the line, the lap number 33 will go on the board. Everybody chasing after Andrew Koska, who is out front to show the way here from Michigan International Speedway. You're watching the Point Town 200. Into the pack, guys. Can we get one of the camera angles on the car? There we go, off the tail end of Dan Keen's GoPro number 85 machine. All center right behind him. Sitting back in that 6th position, following Peters on track. Let's get a look off the front end of the car. Can we? There we go. You say you want to be a race car driver, huh? You're going to be right around at 72 plus RP, 7,200 plus RPM, pushing speeds upwards of 200 miles an hour down into the corner. Amazing run, an amazing race here from Michigan International Speedway. What a night for the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series. Battle at the front still raging on here between teammates. The trio swapping positions around just a little bit. Richardson now out front with Isaacs in second. Koska going to fall back to third. Heinzman looking still to get into the outside wall. That's not what he's looking for. Was looking to get back to the race lead, but contact with the outside wall, pancaking the right side out of turn number 2. That's never good. Way up the racetrack goes the 31 of William Kern. Big run down the front stretch. Big bump draft into turn number 1. Teammate gonna look to the bottom now. Koska gonna look to reclaim second. We'll go side by side. That's going to create some side-by-side action behind them. The drivers really having to navigate, really having to pick which lane they take coming out of turn number 2 early here and commit to it fully. You can see them panning out through 3 and 4 once again. This wide-open track here at Michigan really allows these drivers to sail it off in the corner and try to make it to the bottom. Keep it up there. Harry Gant style, high, wide, and handsome. Rip the lip. And see if you got what it takes to get to the front. A bit of a gap back from Jeremy Flanagan, finishing out this lead pack. That Firefox 72 machine to let a handful of laps, looking to get back to the point once again. Contact in the 9 into the outside wall. Contact between the 72 of Flanagan and the 9 of Dorsey, and Dorsey's right front is absolutely destroyed. The Virginia Pro Roofing number 9. Ford Mustang just will not even turn right now. It's going to be a hard task to even get that machine back to pit road. Hard contact with the outside wall after a little bit of beating and banging. And big time damage now for Dorsey. See a lot of right rear damage on that 72 machine after the contact with the 9. We'll see if that comes back to haunt and plague Flanagan as this green flag run continues. Meanwhile, excitement back at the front of the field. Peters still looking to get back inside of a podium position. Going to lose one spot now to 31 of William Kern. And we're going to go back up here because we've got 3 very differing strategies inside of your top 5. Top 3 racers on the racetrack getting back on lap number 15. The 31 machine right there running in 4th, looking for a little bit more real estate. Kern came to pit road back on lap 25, so a 10 lap difference on the tires there for Kern should be a bit of an advantage. He's going to have the fuel advantage for sure. See if he can't utilize those fresher Goodyears. Peters running in 5th right here, under fire from that 28 of Heitzman. Came to pit road back on lap number 6 under our first caution of the night after catching a little bit of left front damage. Peters is going to have to hit pit road here before anybody else. And with that turning into a short pit, does it play into the hands? Does it favor that one crew? Will anybody head down pit road with Lilith when she's got to go? That's going to be another ask. You're going to be quicker with a group of 2 or 3 drivers when you get back up to speed. See if anybody goes down pit road with the 1. The stripe, teammates still 1, 2, 3 on the racetrack. The 31 still searching for some real estate, not quite being able to get it. That's going to open up the door for Peters on the top side. 28 of Heitzman's going to follow through. And that's that momentum. That's a prime example of that momentum. Coming off of turn 2, Peters just kept it to the high side. The 31 looked to the bottom of the racetrack, but the momentum from behind helping push that 1 around and gain the position. Now Peters going to try her hand at the bottom of the racetrack once again. Catfishing here. Just about 7 laps away from the halfway point here tonight. Slide job. Oh man, that was close. Whew. I don't know. Maybe I get a little bit too zealous. Maybe that's not the word. Maybe excited might be the word. Man, but that slide job is pretty close. And there it is. We mentioned Peters having to come to pit road. Nice, easy ride to pit lane. No smoke out of the tires. Easily down to speed. Peters executing her first green flag pit stop since coming back to perfection, really. Great entry to pit road. Can't be mad about that. Top 7 breaking away from the field. Ed Jurgen in the 92 right here, going to go nose to tail with Michael Grum. Grum right behind him in that 99 Toyota Camry, searching for the bottom of the racetrack, looking for a position. We'll go side by side now for 8th and 9th. Unable to complete the pass. Grum going to stay on the bottom of the racetrack. Wounded Warrior Jeremy Flanagan sitting back in 10th. 37, Camaro of 1, starting to make some headway. was involved in an early incident here tonight. Is on that road to recovery. Looking for some track position, looking for some spots. Let's and Gainforth gonna pull the trigger, and they're gonna head to pit road. This latest time by top 14 gonna remain out on the racetrack. Let's go back to the battles at the front. You can see Peters right here battling to keep herself on the lead lap. This is gonna be crucial. Can Peters move away from this big pack of drivers? I think if this lead pack were to just get single file, they would freight train that one and put Peters one lap down and in a precarious little situation. We're going to have ourselves a long green flag cycle here. It's going to unfold, let's say, in about another 15 laps or so. There you can see now already the teammates, the Mad Spins, we can talk, we promised the Mad Sim Racing and the Mad Spartan Racing team coming to pit road. The 28 gonna follow suit. Jerry Isaac's gonna stay out on the racetrack. William Kern gonna follow suit. Caldwell, Keene, Jurgen, Grum, and Flanagan yet to hit pit road. Looks like Isaacs is poised to pull to pit road this time around. We can see him eyeballing the bottom of the racetrack. Your Premier Racing Center Pole Award winner going to bring the Interstate Batteries machine to pit road as well. William Kern stays out on the racetrack. New race leader here from Michigan in the Flinttown 200 for the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series. And drivers are going to have to be careful, right? Getting back up to speed with these colder tires. It's a long way around the apron here at Michigan. It looks like a handful of them able to navigate their way through and get the jobs done. Let's take a look here at Peters once again at a turn number 4. Has leapfrog Richardson, Heinzman, Wright, and Koska. So that the strategy, I'm not sure it's a strategy, but it's played out to be one. It has played out in her favor. Peters looks to get back to the race lead. I mean, this is gonna work out well. If Peters can keep the pace here, over a 2-second gap. Back to Cody Richardson, who has Cody Heinzman in tow. 1 second back is Heinzman. Isaac's another second back. Wright and Koska going at it 4 positions. Let's jump back here to this little 3-car battle for a moment. 14 of Brett Wright. With a great pit schedule. A great pit cycle has put himself in position, sitting in that 11th spot. Lap number 50 on the board. We'll cross the halfway point. We'll get we'll get to the halfway point this time around. And Tom, you can get a Dave in the cave if you get yourself on track. Where are you at, bro? Where are you at? I thought you were supposed to be in the car. Me and your PR guy are going to argue here soon. I'm going to have some words and emails. So as the green flag pit cycle continues, your top 6 staying out on the racetrack. Peters still having that 2-second advantage right now over Richardson and Heinzman. Heinzman closing in on Richardson. Let's go back to this battle. So the green flag pit stops really shaking this field up quite a bit. Koska and Wright going to go at it. Jerry Isaacs in the 51 involved in a battle as well. Top 6 still yet to hit pit road. This is a huge run for them. Last time they were on pit road, lap number 25. We are over 25 laps deep into this green flag run. We should expect to see them within the next 5 to 7 laps. You're going to see these race leaders heading to pit road. Dufton and Gainforth going to go at it. Let's go back to the battle for 16th and 17th for the time being. Keep in mind, top 6 still need to make their green flag pit stop. The 101 of Dave Gainforth. Sporting that Spam sponsorship once again, always good to find Gainforth out there in his fast Ford Mustang. A little bit of early troubles here tonight. May have fried his race, but looking to still walk away with a decent points day. Gainforth hunting the top 10. As we go back to your race leader, William Kern here on the outside of the racetrack. There you can see the 37 WeatherTech. Sponsored Chevy Camaro. Getting himself back onto the lead lap. Now 15 drivers back onto the lead lap. When are these guys going to hit pit road, man? I said 5 to 7 laps working, and this is going to be that 5th lap. So can we expect to see that 31 down pit road this time by? I mean, I'm not joking about the strategies. Let's pull up that pit strategy right there. There you can see it's a bit all over the board. We got upwards of 37 lap runs, so that right there tells me we're 8 laps away from seeing somebody hit pit road. Absolutely gonna have to hit pit road within the next 8 laps. There's no doubt about it. So there's a little insight on how things are unfolding in the strategy game here tonight. It looked like the 31 might have eyeballed pit road entry that time, but thought better of it. And now those freshers tires starting to eat up some of the guys that have elected to stay out on the racetrack. Donahue and Danielson gonna drop some spots here as Peters, Richardson, and Heinzman slowly make their way by. So we're past the halfway point, a little bit late with it, but we're still going to give you your mid-race report, your driver rundown here tonight in the Flint Town 200 for Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series. Race from Michigan International Speedway. Great racing action here under green flag pit cycle conditions. We find ourselves with a handful of drivers off of the lead lap. 25 drivers took to the starting grid. We have still got 23 out there on the racetrack, but only 15 remain on the lead lap, and Jurgen gonna wave the white flag, and he's gonna bring the 92 down to pit road for what? I mean, he's gonna have to make another stop. These guys aren't gonna stretch it that far. They're gonna have to make another stop, and I'm really liking the strategy out of this one. Came to pit road on lap number 43. Yes is now under fire from Cody Richardson, but these two have themselves a 2.5 gap back to what will eventually be the 3rd place runner. But Peters to pit road on 43. If she can repeat that 37 lap run, that's pitting at lap 80. Given just a 20 lap run to the end, I like the odds. Or will we see somebody maybe transition it the other way and hit pit road somewhere around lap number 68? We'll find out here shortly, that's for sure. Side by side for the race lead, back across the stripe, or and then for the race lead, that's 4th and 5th on the racetrack. William Kern still your race leader out front of this field. And there's There's no way. There's no way he's gonna make it on one more stop. Right? Then you can't. Tell me you can't. Kern has been out on the racetrack for the past 35 laps. We would expect to see that 31 to pit road any moment now. And I mean, oh man. If Kern can stretch this another 4 laps, 5 laps, can he get 5 laps? It may be the race-winning strategy here. Only Kern and Grubb yet to make their green flag pit stop. And honestly, right now, you can see William Kern has a 7-second advantage, almost an 8-second advantage. Grubb has over a 15-second advantage, so you got some time to give up. And that's going to do it. Kern going to head to pit road. Kern going to head to pit road here on lap number 61. Going to give himself... Oh, that's a tall task. See, you're still asking about 39 laps. We've only been able to get 37. We'll see if it works out. Grubb also going to come to pit road with a 99 machine. Back to the 64 of Richardson path across the line. Cody will reclaim that top spot. How about Peters right here holding strong? Peters holding strong in that second position. Heinzman starting to close in. You see that NOS Energy Toyota Camry just off in the distance. Top 5 dominated by those tough Toyotas. 3 out of your top 5 are behind the wheel of a Camry here tonight, so Toyota power showing up in Ford's backyard. Fastest Ford in the field is the Spam sponsored 101 of Dave Gainforth. Let's go back here, take a little look at Gainforth as he's trying to run down Nathan Dumpton for a spot inside of the top 10. 2 lap fresher tires for that 47, so we'll see if Gainforth can pick up a little bit of time here and find a way around. I think it's going to be a bit of a tall task. Let's go here as well. So we've got a battle for 3rd and 4th on the racetrack. Heinzman and Isaacs going at it, going by the 01 machine, the Blackstone. Grills, 08 of Gary Bowman, back in the 18th position listed. 2 laps down now. After being involved in an early incident and then a long green flag run without any more troubles, Bowman has just kind of a victim of circumstance. Nonetheless, things heating up at the front of the field here. Richardson, half a second advantage, just over a half a second back to these two who are hounding after each other, trying to will their way to the front of the field behind the wheels of these machines. These Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series machines have been absolutely dialed in. Speeds upwards of 200 miles an hour down the backstretch and into turn 3. You gotta have some guts to pull that off. And speaking of guts, let's go inside and get a little feel for what these drivers are having to put up with. Let's go to turn 3, try again. And interesting enough, in these new cars, that 5th gear, you can hear Jerry Isaacs switching back to 4th. We'll listen to the shift back to 5th here. There's 5th gear once again. Out of the gas, down into 4th, keeping the RPM way up. getting a lot of grip, a lot of forward bite. He's now going to look to the inside of the 28. Battle for third underway. Isaacs looking to take the position away. We'll jump back outside of the car. Peters right here going to float to the top side of the racetrack. That's going to allow the 51 to head to the bottom. Going to have to be smooth as chicken lips down there on the bottom. Kyle, I would have to agree with you 100%. And Kyle, you put in a little bit of time behind the mic, so maybe it's not just my former days as a crew chief and spotter. Always thinking of strategies, right? Always looking at things. And right now, yes, Cody Richardson has stepped off to about a 1.2 second advantage. We've got a tight 3-car battle for second, third, and fourth. We've got some more battles out there on the racetrack. 37 and the 14 going at it, 8th and 9th. Jurgen going at it with William Kern. These drivers right here, they are going to have to hit pit road. Everybody inside of your top 10, except William Kern, is absolutely going to have to hit pit road again. Will they take right sides only in fuel to try to shorten the time loss on pit road? Will they get the 4 freshies? If I'm coming down pit road, I want the 4 fresh Goodyear so I can go after it, so I can lay it all out there on the line. If I don't get it done, I can't blame anybody but myself. But with Kern extending that green flag run so far, he may be able to make it to the end. We've seen a little bit differing strategy there with Peters. Lilith was able to take that top spot for a handful of laps. She was out there out front leading the way and had quite a bit of a gap before Richardson closed back in. And now with that Mad Spartan Racing duo at the front of the field, 1-2 on the track. And here it is. We got short pits coming. Brett Wright and Dave Gainforth, they're going to head to pit road with just 31 laps to go. You can make it from here. That is not questionable at all. So 2 drivers running the race backwards is how we like to categorize it, is running it backwards, running it like a road course. And if you've watched NASCAR over the course of the past, I don't know, decade or more, you will be pretty fond of knowing that Michigan does lend it hand to some fuel strategy racing. I mean, we've seen a handful of lead changes on the final lap with drivers running out of fuel. See if anybody runs out tonight. We'll see if anybody's able to stretch the distance to get to the end. I believe William Kern is going to be the only one to be able to do so. Michael Grubb might be able to. The 99 listed back in the 12th position right now. Man. Kyle, I absolutely agree. This is going to be very interesting. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't have race control in my ear right now, so I cannot check that one. I would imagine it was claimed, but I think either party involved would have been on pit road for quite a stay. So I don't think any need for any type of restart penalties, as we see here with the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series. If you cause the caution, you head to the rear. It's that simple. It's that short. No ifs, ands, buts about it. You head to the back. Peterson, let's get a hit pit road. Last time around, Koska, your latest driver to pit lane. And this is where things are really going to get mixed up, right? Peter's going to fall off the lead lap now, be listed as the first driver, 1 lap down, back in that 12th position. But now these drivers at the front, they can short pit at any time. And that's going to put the strategy of William Kern in jeopardy. He needs these guys to kind of stretch this out a little bit. Yes, come whisper in my ear, Tom. Race leaders to pit road. Top 3 now make it 4 to pit lane. Dan Keene gonna stay out. William Kern will cycle to second. Oh man. Kern's gonna have less than 25 laps to go here. Jurgen over 5 seconds back. Grubb and Peters, the next drivers in line. Top 5, different strategies. Man, whew. This is, I don't know. 85 gonna come to pit road this time around. That's gonna leave Dan Keene out there on the racetrack. I apologize. No, that's gonna leave William Kern out there on the racetrack, and Kern will take over the race lead. Five seconds back to Jurgen. Another 5+ back to Grubb. Peters, 1.3 second advantage over Richardson. These final 25 laps, man. Y'all gonna make me work for this, ain't you? Man, what a night. We had some early cautions here tonight. If you're just joining us, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining us here as we got 25 to go. The Flint Town 200 live from Michigan International Speedway. Right here for the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series race number 6 well and underway. We had some quick cautions here tonight. 4 cautions early before lap number 30. Drivers have been on a long green flag run ever since. 2 rounds of green flag pit stops for a handful of these drivers. 1 green flag pit stop for the man out front, William Kern. Looking to stretch the fuel mileage. Looking to play with the strategy. And walk away with a solid finish. And I think he's got a pretty solid opportunity. If I gotta be 100% honest, I thought he may be losing a little bit too much time. But looking at the time and scoring, he's about a half a second slower than Peters, who is on fresh tires. About a second slower, though, than Richardson, running back in the 5th spot. So I mean... And it's close even for Richardson, right? 23 laps to go. You're a second a lap faster. That only gets you 23 seconds made up. Where are you going to find that other 2.5 seconds from? You're going to have to hope the fall off is a little bit more for Kern. You're going to have to hope from help from the drivers you're racing around, that they're not going to slow you down and impede your progress. So as we do come to the end of tonight's race, right around the corner from just 20 to go here tonight in the Flint Town 200. And there's a lot up in the air. Bragging rights. Race win on the line. A spot to chase after the championship up for grabs as well. I don't know. To go back to a battle, let's go back here. Let's watch these 2 teammates battle it out for position on the racetrack. We're going to be able to see Lilith just off in the distance. You can see her in the foreground. Woo, big slingshot attitude. And Isaac's giving it. Whew, giving it the business coming off of turn 2. My God. And this is exactly what Peters needs, though. This is what Peters needs. A little bit of help from lap traffic. Needs to be able to navigate her way in and out of the lap traffic. And force this 64 and the 51 to really pick their passes. Really make methodical moves. Getting woed up just a little bit now, trying to completely clear. Oh, into the outside wall. 55 into the outside wall. Tough little run. That's the 65. We apologize. We can see, we promise. Chris Litz with a little bit of contact with the outside wall. Doesn't slow the roll of that 64 much of anything. Cody Richardson still keeping it cranked up at the top of the racetrack. Where has your premier racing setup pole award winner went? Andrew Caldwell behind the wheel of his Interstate Batteries 46 machine. Back in the 10th position, rounding out your top 10. And here it is. What could be a battle for the race win. Right, we're not sure if Kern and Grubb can make it to the end still. So this could be a battle for the race win right here. We could be watching your race leaders battling it out for the moment. 3rd, 4th, and 5th on the racetrack. Man, I don't know. I mean, at this point in time, if you are this 31, you are well and clear. You have yourself a 10-second advantage. Under 20 to go, 19 to go, 18 when we cross the line. You can give up a little speed here, right? You can give up a little bit, trying to save a little bit of fuel. And I tell you what, we're going to be sneaky here. Guys, do we have that shot? Let's go on board here. And you hear him already in 5th gear. Not switching gears, not jumping that RPM up. That's going to save a little bit of fuel right there, all into itself. We'll see if he downshifts here. And no, he's going to keep the RPM low. Nice and easy squeeze on the gas. And there he is. He's coming to pit road. William Kern will not stretch it to the end, and he is going to head to pit road with 18 to go. 99 will follow suit, and we talked about it being a battle for what could be the race win, could be the race lead. See, there's a reason why people should listen to Dave, right? I say it a lot. Nobody listens to Dave. Nobody likes to listen to Dave. Everybody thinks Dave's crazy. Here we go. Was a battle 3rd, 4th, 5th, now a battle 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Peters with a rejuvenating return. Re-emerging on the scene here with the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series and reminding the field that she is going to be one of the drivers that you're going to have to deal with. May have missed a handful of races, but she gonna be a problem. I like the strategy so far that I've seen out of that one crew. The Firefox Foods team doing an amazing job here, coming back to the racetrack for the first time, putting themselves in a potential position to win tonight's race. And it's all about position, right? I mean, let's really analyze this with a lot of things in life, right? In order to get that promotion at work, to get more money, you gotta put yourself in a position that makes you look worth that promotion. When you're playing the stock market games, when you're playing option calls and daily trades and things of that nature, you gotta be in position to have the leverage to make the play. Interceptions in football. Players have to put themselves in position to make the play. You gotta put yourself in the proper position to have the opportunities to walk away with greatness. And I feel that Peter's team has put her in position. Only a 2-lap difference on the tires. As Peters may be taking it a little easy right now, maybe saving a little bit of those good years for the final 5 laps or so, trying to make one final run back to the front. We're not sure. Even if that's not the case, debut race starting back in 15th and finishing on the podium. Leading laps in your return. What more could you ask for? If Peters is my driver, I'm ecstatic with the way tonight's race has played out. I'm ecstatic at the way we return to racing action. A little bit of grit involved, right? Early trouble, a little bit of contact on the left front. Peters and the team have overcome that and sitting in a very good position here tonight inside of the top three. Let's go back through the field. Let's take a little look at a battle going on off of the lead lap here, but nonetheless, let's go take a look here at this 70 machine, trying to make some headway on Danielson, who is just out in front. The Bruzy Racing 85 just in front. Besides the battle at the very front of the field, this is your closest action in the line. And with both drivers heading to pit road, that's going to put a short-lived run to that battle. We'll head back up here as your top two. Tango. Down the backstretch, back into turn number 3. Once again, the teammates nose to tail. Peter starting to fall to the wayside just a little bit. You can see about a 6-car length advantage now for that top two. But I'm thinking more importantly for Peters right now, 3.2 second advantage over Heinzman running in fourth. Great run here tonight for Heinzman as well. Started outside pole position almost. It was down to thousandths of a second. Heinzman almost walked away with your Premier Racing Setup pole award. And having just an amazing race car all night long. Has stayed right there in the mix, right there in the battle, right there in the talks. All night long here tonight in the Flint Town 200, brought to you by Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series. Want to give a big shout out to everybody back at the Cyber Thunder headquarters that make this thing tick, that make things work. Huge shout out to a returning sponsor in the series, Butt Kicker. Their haptic transducers bring all the feeling beneath your feet. Get the wind wisping by you. Every bit that you need to bring that authentic feel to your gaming experience can be found right there with Butt Kicker. The future is feeling. Another big shout out to associate sponsor Mountain Mafia Kennels, the best American bully breeders in Western North Carolina. If you're in the market for a new pup, if you're looking for champion pedigrees, bloodlines that are tried and true, check them out on Facebook, Instagram, and formerly Twitter. Once again, that's Mountain Mafia Kennels. And let's not forget about our qualifying session sponsoring the pole award here this season with the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series. Gotta give a big shout out to Premier Racing Setup, your longest running and standing setup shop for iRacing.com. You can't beat commitment. You can't beat the accolades. You can't beat the knowledge built behind these setups over there with the Premier Racing Setups crew. They do an amazing job. If you want to get the edge over your competition to get yourself in the hunt for race wins, head on over to PremierRacingSetups.com. Once again, that's PremierRacingSetups.com. You can find a link down in the description. Head right on over there and tell them the guys over at Turn 3 sent you. We're going to reel it all back in because we got less than 5 to go this time around. The high five by the boss man of the flag stand. We're going to have just 10 miles of racing action remaining here tonight. And Peters has had to hit pit road. Lilith Peters gonna give up a spot inside of the top 5 and fall all the way back to 14th. And with Richardson and Isaacs, they only came to pit road 2 laps after Peters. Do they really have enough fuel? We've seen drivers stretch at that 30 plus laps with some caution laps being lumped up in between. And I think it's too late here. I think it's too late to save fuel. I mean, you're gonna have to. I mean, it's too late to hit pit road now. Peters, unfortunately, I think was going to absolutely run dry, and that's why she was called to pit road. But at this time, with 3 to go this time by, if you're Richardson or you're Isaacs, you're just jumping out of the gas, right? Just jump out of the gas, give up whatever you got to give up. Both drivers with over a 5-second advantage back to third place runner Cody Heinzman. So you got the time to give. You might as well give it. And man, Kyle, we were right. Definitely an interesting finish here tonight. Not quite panning out the way that we expected. Not quite panning out how we thought it would. But nonetheless, an amazing race here at Michigan International Speedway. The Flint Town 200 sees popsicle sticks on display. Only 2 to go. And what seems to be a familiar theme over these opening 5 weeks of racing action, the Mad Spartan Mad Sim Racing stable of drivers 1-2 coming to the end of one of these races, and white flag flies. Final lap here tonight in the Flint Town 200 for the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series. And again, these guys right here are going to finish 1 and 2. It's been a common theme this season. They're all over the podium week in, week out. If there's a parlay bet on them, you better not bet against them. I'm going to tell you that much right here. My goodness, an amazing job once again by both Richardson and Isaacs. At a 4 for the final time, coming across the stripe, checkered flag in hand, and race win belongs to that 64 machine. Jerry Isaacs going to finish in second with Heinzman finishing out your podium here tonight. Tight little battle. Let's go here. Caldwell and Keene going at it. Olsen are going to have the position at the line, but just barely. Dan Keene gave him all he could right there coming to the end. Amazing little race. That's going to be a 5th and 6th on the racetrack. So as your race winner, Cody Richardson brings the machine back around. He's going to enjoy a little cool down lap before the post-race celebration and smoke show. For all the fans in the stands, sold out, packed house once again here on a Thursday night with Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series. We're going to burn it down for a moment and then head to a brief commercial break. Get things set up and ready to go for your post-race interviews. What a run, what a night here tonight behind the wheel of that 64 Mad Spartan machine. Cody Richardson with yet another win. And as promised, we're going to come right back trackside and dive right into things. Let's head trackside, see if we can't catch up and have a few words. And no pun intended with the catch up part of that, but we're going to see if we can't grab a few words with the man that walked away third here tonight. Let's see if we can grab Cody and have a few words with him. Cody, it's Dave. You got us?
I do.
Hey man, how you doing? How you feeling after a solid run here tonight? And we were talking before we came back on air. Walk us through some of your pit road troubles.
Yeah, so coming down that final stop, I was doing my best to stay glued to the 51 and the 64. Sorry, the dog's getting a little anxious. And I was right on their bumper, and from the sounds of it, they both overcooked their stalls, and I was basically I was gonna go in as hard as the 51 was gonna go in. So I guess with him overshooting it, I also overshot it. My problem was when I went to back it up, I didn't back up enough, so then I had to back up a second time, and that's where I lost the 3-4 seconds or whatever it was.
Well, giving up time on pit road usually translates to a lot of track time lost. You did lose a little bit of track time, don't get me wrong, but still being able to cycle back from outside pole position, cycle back into the podium here tonight. Does getting the job done at the home track feel any better than getting the job done anywhere else?
You know, if I had to choose a couple tracks to get a podium or run well at, this is definitely one of them, both because it's the home track, but also because I have always struggled to this track. It's never kind of come to me in terms of the feel of it, and I feel like I learned a little bit today, especially when I was running up there with the 64 and the 51 with how quick they were. So definitely really happy with the result, especially with the recovery after that pit road scare that we had.
Well, man, indeed, a great recovery. It's going to give your points a big time shot in the arm as we get set to head off into the month of April. We're going to hit a handful of pretty big, pretty racy tracks here in the near future. So we hope we get the opportunity to talk to you very soon. But until then, would you like to give any final shout outs, thank yous, love yous?
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to my buddy Chad watching, Larry as well. Shout out to my wife who's usually watching. And thanks to you, Dave, for covering the race today.
Well, man, we appreciate and thank you for all the great racing action, man. Without you guys out on track putting on the show, it'd make my job pretty boring up here. So I'm glad you guys always put on one hell of a show, and again, one hell of a finish for you, Cody. We hope you keep it up there in the podium spots, and we'll wait to see how you go over the next handful of weeks. So until then, my man, stay safe, and as always, keep it fast.
Looking forward to it.
All right, there you have it. Little bit of woes on pit road, but Cody Heinzman will bring the machine back to a podium finish. A great run so far here for Heinzman, and that's going to move us right along the list. Let's see if we can't talk to a guy that we're getting pretty familiar talking to him back on the podium once again behind the wheel of that 51 machine. Man, Jerry, does it ever get old talking to me?
It never gets old, man. I love it.
I got a lot of people that would disagree, but, you know, none of them like me. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, that's your family, you know.
Man, a crazy beginning to tonight's race, right? A tale of two races. The first half of the race, a little bit plagued with some cautions in there. Last half, green flag racing. How do you go from how do you flip the switch from knowing that you have these restarts to deal with into a fuel or tire management mode? How do you just flip the switch so easily?
Well, I mean, you got to assume you're going to go long all the time, obviously, unless you're down to 5 to go or something like that. So every green flag that drops, I'm assuming, is going to be a long run, and just try and focus on the long run. And if it's not a long run, it's not. You deal with it. But that's kind of my mindset.
Well, Jerry, back on the podium once again here early this season. It's going to give your point standings a good shot in the arm, but unfortunately, Richardson came into tonight's race just 2 points ahead of you. You're going to still be chasing after him when we head to Charlotte. Do you think you can take anything here from Michigan and carry it over to next week?
I think so. I mean, the big thing tonight was we came out of the pits and I was behind him and I was just in dirty air the entire run. So he was in clean air. He could save his tires better. And once we got down to the last 10, I'm like, all right, let's race. And I'm like, well, I got no tires left. I think if I had saved my tires a little better, I'd been good, or maybe just didn't have to deal with as much dirty air. So what I'm going to take to Charlotte is try to be the car in front, not the car behind, earlier in the run.
Yeah, the dirty air does seem to plague these newer Cup cars quite a bit more than the I'm gonna call them the old school style, the style I prefer of racing, but that's neither here nor there. Jerry, fantastic finish once again for you behind the wheel of that 51 machine. Before we let you go here tonight, would you like to give any final shout outs, thank yous, love yous?
Absolutely, man. As always, thanks to Cyber Thunder putting on the league. You, Dave in the Cave, Turn 3 for broadcasting. I appreciate everything you do. I know my mom appreciates it when she gets to watch the races. Cody Richardson, I tried to track him down, but he's the one that taught me how to do it. So I got to thank him and Andrew Kotska for teaching me how to drive. And of course, hi, Mom. Hi, Cody's mom.
Always a pleasure to catch up with you at the end of these things, Jerry. I'm sure we're going to have many more opportunities to talk throughout the rest of this season. So until next time, my friend, have yourself a safe and happy Easter holiday. And until we meet again, stay safe and keep it fast.
You too, man. Thank you.
All right, there you have it. Final few words from the man that walks away second. Jerry Isaac's going to pick up yet another podium finish here this season, and now we will head to the Gatorade Victory Lane celebrations and talk to him for the first time solo in these post-race interviews. He gets rid of the entire team, and he's going to dominate this thing by himself in this interview. Man, Cody, how good does it feel to walk away with a challenging race win?
Well, I mean, pretty darn good. I mean, I finally got the monkey off my back last week at Atlanta and able to back it up here again at Michigan. Had some team help for sure. Jerry helped me push. We pushed each other and helped each other get past Lilith there after that last pit stop and everything. I mean, good work to Jerry running there right on my tail. We were discussing when we were going to take the gloves off and go side by side and racing. And after he decided he wanted to go racing, realized he didn't have any tires left after riding in my dirty air. So, but I think we all missed our pit boxes. Heinzman, Jerry, and myself all did on that last pit stop. If Jerry hadn't missed his pit box, and I would have, if he would have come out in front of me, I think I sit behind him the entire race and he ends this. It's really, really hard to pass, and especially just sitting in dirty air the entire race.
Well, Cody, you alluded to that race win last week at Atlanta, but let's keep in mind the week before that when we were at, I believe it was the Glen, you were out front showing the way. And
that would have been Coda. The Glen is my least favorite road course. Coda being my favorite.
That is correct. So what could have been a third win translates only into second. So maybe the racing gods giving you back what you missed out on. Who knows? We're not going to go there with it, but an amazing start to the season for you. You're gonna add to that points lead that you came into tonight's race with. So separating yourself even more in the point standings, already locked into the championship run. How are you approaching these next 4 weeks of April? And we're going to hit some quite different tracks. I mean, Charlotte, Iowa, Indy, very different tracks there.
Charlotte, I really, really enjoy. It's probably one of my favorite mile and a halves, especially the cookie cutter, D-shaped mile and a halves. Iowa, I prefer Richmond over Iowa. I know Iowa's like Richmond's big brother, but Iowa's just a kind of meh in my book. Indy, I love. It would, other than Gateway, it's probably considered my home track as well. I'm only about 3 hours away from Indy. I really, really enjoy Indy as well. All these tracks are looking pretty good. I'm just happy to build some momentum up coming into this last part of the season. I know I was up there with my teammates and everything, but finally able to jump that a little bit and keep this momentum building. Hopefully I can keep building it all the way through to the playoffs.
Well, we hope we continue to get to talk to you in these post-race interviews. We hope we see you back in Victory Lane here in these next coming weeks. So before we let you finish spraying the champagne and the Victory Lane celebrations, would you like you to give any final shout-outs, thank yous, love yous?
Yeah, thank you, Dave, for coming out here and spending your Thursday nights with us, putting on this broadcast. I know all the friends and family out there really appreciate it. We appreciate it here at Cyber Thunder. Got to say hi, Mom. Otherwise, she'll definitely be mad at me. Always got to say hi, Mom. Thanks to my team, Mad Spartan Sim Racing, Mad Sim Racing, all our sponsors that are on the car here, Jerry and all the rest of our teammates driving here. I think everybody finished pretty darn good. I don't have it up right now, but I'm pretty sure all of our teammates that were on the track tonight were in the top 10 or 15 for sure. And also make sure to check out madsimracing.com and intotheapex.com. New podcast material every weekend going out there.
Well, man, again, congratulations on a great run, and we're going to get up with you guys at some point in time, try to make some guest appearances and to cause some shenanigans and chaos in your podcast, you know, since you guys get to bring me chaos on the broadcast, I'm going to come in the podcast and call some. I don't know. We'll figure that thing out, but...
hey, the Beemans that are on there absolutely love chaos, so I'll see what we can do here. Maybe get you on and do an interview.
All right, man. Well, again, congratulations on your back-to-back race-winning performance. Burn it down once again. Enjoy this race win. Until we meet again, stay safe and keep it fast.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dave. Have a good night.
Burning it down after the race-winning performance. It doesn't get much better than that behind the wheel in victory lane. Once again, the Illinois native going to walk away with yet another checkered flag. Cody Richardson is your race winner. What a night, what a race here from Michigan International Speedway. The Flint Town 200 has come to a close and has finished off here tonight. We couldn't have asked for a better race. We had a little bit of trouble early. That translated into a long green flag run. And a lot of strategy involved. A lot of differing strategies involved, made for some great racing action late in the race. Job well done to all of the drivers throughout this entire field. Just an amazing, amazing night. And as you hear producers hitting those buttons in the background, you know the sounds, you know it's time for us to run down tonight's unofficial race results from Michigan International Speedway. You're watching the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series, walking away in victory lane for the second time in 2 weeks. Cody Richardson will add to his points lead. Jerry Isaac's going to come home second, with Cody Heinzman finishing out your podium drivers. Andrew Koska going to bring the 86 home to a fourth place finish. Your Premier Racing Senate Pole Award winner, Andrew Caldwell, going to finish in fifth. Sliding home in sixth is Dan Keene behind the wheel of that 85 GoPro machine. How about Ken Long in the 37, sliding in seventh. Eighth place tonight to William Kern. Brett Wright back in ninth. And Ed Jurgen rounds out your top 10. Michael Grubb, Nathan Dufton back in 11th and 12th. 13th tonight to Dave Gainforth. Lilith Peters makes her return to the racetrack and finishes inside of the top 15. A great run, but the strategy was a little bit off. Peters going to look to improve next week at Charlotte. Chris Lett's going to finish 15th. 16th tonight to Judd Danielson, with Mike Donahue back in 17th. 18th tonight from Michigan belongs to the 08 machine of Gary Bowman. He's going to have some trouble in that Blackstone Grill sponsored ride, but he will finish inside the top 20, walk away with 18th. Jeremy Flanagan back in 19th. Jerry Camilli with a tough night. 30 will finish in that 20th position. Brian Dorsey, Corey Sherman, Christian Delgado, Stephen Music, and Paul Turner finish out the 25 car field here tonight for the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series. What a night, what a race. We're going to get ready to cut off the lights and roll up the cords, but before we go, if you haven't already, remember to join us in that continued push to 4,000 subscribers. Show these drivers some love. Drop the thumbs up, click subscribe, smash that bell over there on the right-hand side. Get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Whether it's myself, Dave of the Cave, or anybody else back at the Turn 3 headquarters, we appreciate each and every one of you. Each and every time you stop by, whether you're sliding in to say hey, or you are one of our dedicated fans, friends, or family, we appreciate each and every one of you. Without you, there would be no us. So stay safe, stay loved, my friends, and until next time, we'll meet ya in Turn 3.